we're going to start with sweeping today. So toddler sweeping, I typically use larger pieces. These are just crumpled up pieces of paper. Some sort of a tub for the materials to go into, and then a small broom and dustpan. It's really dirty. It's actually a broom and dustpan from a used classroom. I'd recommend using like a clean one.
Okay. Yeah, we have
like
one of
just used for.
Would you prefer it like to be in a bucket like that, or is it okay to be on a tray?
On a tray is good. I would have I only grabbed this because I couldn't find a smaller one.
Okay.
But you do want some sort of a container for the trash to go.
Right, I have like a little trash can bin that I got from Dollar Tree.
Yep, that's good.
Okay.
I just didn't have separate containers, so I'm using it as an all-in-one.
Okay.
The other thing that I'm missing that I would recommend doing in your classroom is putting painter's tape down as a square on the floor. Tape. Perfect.
On the floor, like just have a certain spot on the floor.
Yeah, so you can have a spot in your floor in a classroom where this is the area that you sweep stuff up into to keep it contained, and then you show them.
Okay, see, I have it on the tray, so they dump it.
So that's our extension.
Okay.
Yeah, so on the floor.
That makes sense.
The reason I would recommend having a square is to show kids that when you sweep, you want to gather all of your trash or dirt into one area before you try to sweep into the dustpan.
Okay.
So it's fun because they get to dump stuff out and make a big mess, right? Yeah. And then we'll just pretend that my square is like right here. Obviously I don't have a square here, but I'm like, make a big deal about getting it all within a little square.
I noticed that.
And then if you have the bucket that just has the trash in it, that could be on the tray, and then you put your broom right there, and then you can mix stuff on what you want to do.
Do you think it would be, having it like that, if having it on the tray, you think it would be good to have like a separate like little bowl with the trash in it, and then have the trash can, that way it's not in the trash can, they dump the trash can? Because my thinking is like, because then they might go home and like try to dump their trash can and try and like that's what I'm thinking.
That's what
I like that it's cute that it's a little trash can. The only issue is unless they're actually throwing that trash away in the trash can, they're going to end up dumping that trash.
Well, they do because I let them tear up like their own trash, like do that kind of like work on tearing first, and then they have their own little pile, and when they're done with it, that goes in the trash.
So it actually goes in the
trash. So it
trash.
doesn't stay on the shelf for other kids to be able to touch and stuff either.
Gotcha. Okay. So I would say it would depend on what they do with the trash when they're done.
Okay.
So I've set this activity out before where the pieces of paper stay in there and the pieces of paper themselves get reused.
Okay.
Or if you have other materials that they can work on with sweeping.
Okay.
So it wouldn't matter if you're reusing it, but the way you're using it, I would say yes, have a separate container that it starts in that they dump.
Okay.
And then you throw in the trash, and then the trash gets thrown away. But yeah, that could definitely be. This particular setup is for like your very youngest kids.
Okay.
Who shouldn't really be getting into trash cans, but it doesn't.
They do.
But they do. And then I think the next step is what you've been really working on. Having it on a tray. So same concept here. Paintbrush works really well, or if you have an even smaller broom and dustpan, you can use a tray for this. And then as they get older, you can use smaller and smaller materials. So then we'll graduate to using beans and then into rice. I don't know anyone who's been brave enough to do this activity with sand. Probably not, but really small things like rice would be.
I did years ago.
Maybe eventually would be a good activity for like your
When I
5-year-olds.
actually worked- Yeah, when I was.
But this one is really great for kids who are in the dumping stage because it makes it okay for them to dump, but then the process is to clean it up after that.
Thank you.
Any questions about this one?
Nope, I'm just writing down my thoughts.